good afternoon. I'm excited to be here. My name is Thaisa Yamamura. I'm business development for Sony Electronics, in charge of a product called Spatial Reality Display. So can we have my presentation? If you haven't seen the display yet, I encourage you to visit our booth. We have two devices there that you can experience it. So before I talk about the product itself, let me explain it why we decided to come up with this glasses-free 3D display. So the world now is in 3D. Either if you are developing 3D assets or using, viewing, or consuming, it's in 3D. We see that a lot of industries are using 3D content in the filmmaker, if you're a filmmaker, if you are in the automotive industry or game designers, architects, anyone, everybody in those industries are using and creating assets in 3D. And now, for the consumer-facing, the most famous word in this nowadays is the metaverse, which is also built using 3D tools. So for the 3D content that you are looking, you really need a 3D display, because once you see a 3D content in a 2D screen, you are already losing a lot of details that you wouldn't miss on a 3D display. But how the spatial reality display works, it's basically a 15.6 inches volumetric display by Sony, and it works by connecting to a powerful PC via HDMI and USB-C. So you don't need to wear any VR headsets or any special glasses to be able to see it in 3D. Here is a virtual demonstration of how it works. Yeah, but seeing is believing, so I encourage you to see it in person to see how realistic it is, the 3D. So the technology behind the display has a built-in camera in front of it, which has the high-speed vision sensor and eye sensing technology that is rendering the images in real time. So if you move your head right and left or up and down in front of the display, the images adapt to your viewing angle. So it's the same experience as if you were wearing a VR headset. The second technology behind the display is the micro-optical lens. So the display is an LCD display, but on top of the LCD, we included this very tiny micro-optical lens that divides the image between the right and left eyes. So each eye is receiving 2D image, and your brain is processing the information to create this image, this illusion that you are seeing in 3D. And everything is happening in real time. So the eye tracking is tracking and processing the images in real time to deliver that to your viewing angle. So you will be able to see it in 3D in a very high definition. So creating content that is compatible with the display is very easy. We have our SDK that supports either Unity or Unreal Engine, but we also support other formats that is under the development right now. But anything that it's any of those two gaming engines is very easy to port. You just need to set the camera angle to the viewing point that you want the users to see it. But how the SRD is really changing the industry. So on the game design, a lot of game studios, they need a better visualization tool. As part of their creative process, they usually print out the 3D object, the characters that they are creating, and then they check if there is any mistake on the character. But this process takes a lot of time. So with the SRD, they can see it on the fly. They can see it in real time. The object, they can change the background, they can add visual effects to it. Here is a video of the White Moon Dreams, one of the company that it's doing.
Well, the spatial reality display is like the magic box of all of game development. It's for anything creative, actually. Anything that you want to do, anything that you imagine, the spatial reality device is literally the magic box.
The first time I put on a VR headset, was actually experiencing everything in stereoscopic 3D. I was kind of blown away. I felt that exact same experience with the SRD, except without the headset. That's what makes it a magic box.
Normally we would just like a lot of big studios, we want to just kind of print out a maquette. And this is great because it lets everybody kind of see it from all angles. The parallax is even better. You can see the whole thing and you can actually touch and literally look at it, right? The thing is, of course, this takes a lot of time and money. And of course, you want one little change, guess what? You have to do it all over again. A 2D image only does so much. And even a 3D movie turnaround, right? On a 2D screen is helpful, and you can see it from all angles. And the SRD being even more high res than even this is, I can see so much more detail, and then of course manipulate it with environments and lights very quickly, more than this ever could. So again, what a lot of studios will do is light it from different angles, like, oh, let's see how it can work in different environments, but SRD gives you all that very instantly, like quickly. And you actually do the animation, so that's what we've been adding to now. Now that we have our quickly sculpted maquettes, even in ZBrush or something, now we can just go like, let's say animate a little bit, now you can actually see them kind of how it moves, and that gives you even more information.
You can literally just see it as if it was real in front of you.
And it also makes it really easy to share with others very quickly, right? They can see what you see and get the same experience just like that. They don't have to put a headset on, they don't have to look at some 2D images and try to understand what we're getting for. They can literally see what we see. So therefore, our experience is their experience, and it's amazing that way. So that's helpful. And because of the quick iteration, it's cheaper, right? So now we're able to be more cutting edge, quicker, and it drives you and inspires you to do more with it all the time.
So yeah, as you can see, it saves time and money by not printing every characters that they wanted to design. So on the filmmakers and animators, obviously we're part of Sony, and Sony Pictures has been exploring use cases of using the spatial reality display. We had a very cool collaboration with the directors of Ghostbusters that was launched last year. They utilized the SRD to preview the characters for the movie that they were creating. This gave them the better understanding of the angle of the car, easier to understand the characters they are creating. So on the virtual production as well, as part of the virtual production, there is a phase called pre-production where the directors, before getting to the production scene, they actually see the space that they are shooting. So before getting there, they can see the whole scene in 3D using our display. So before they were using VR headsets, but now they can do using the spatial reality display and collaborating real time with other people, with the creative designers, using one tool from Unreal called Live Link, which we also support on the SRD. So on the volumetric capturing studios, we do have a solution available, and which we are demonstrating here on our booth. But this is a case study that we did with a company called Digital Nation Entertainment, where they are using the spatial reality display in order to have a real-time visualization of what they are capturing on the volumetric rig. So the person is on the volumetric rig, and then they can look in real time on the SRD to see how it looks when they are preparing the video on the volume. So this is a very good use cases because once the user is on the volumetric rig, it takes a lot of time and consuming a lot of time. Usually it's an actress or a dancer, and their time is very precious. So in order to be able to see it in real time, it saves a lot of money and time. Also, on the metaverse, a lot of NFTs are being created in 3D. So we launched a drop on Theta Labs. We launched it in June of this year. 10 units of a limited edition that came together with the display, and 500 units that was sold that was compatible with the display. And all the 510 units were sold out in less than 30 seconds, which was crazy. We were very happy with this NFT. But because there is a demand, people who buys an NFT and wanted to show off what they bought, and the best way to do it is by looking to a 3D screen. So this was a collaboration not only on the NFT, but it can be used also on the metaverse to see worlds. And it's being used quite a lot in museums and NFT galleries and auction houses as a demonstration tool for the users to have a better understanding of what they are buying. On the architect space, it's also being used to recreate the digital twin of a building they are building, also to simulate some cities. This is an example of how an actual city would look like on the SRD. You can see the demonstration also on our booth, but it really looks very realistic, and they can simulate different scenes. They can check the traffic. They can build and check the traffic in real time. This is another collaboration we did with a company called Shop Architects, which they are showing the display to their clients using the cell phone to basically manipulate the buildings and check how the constructions, the status of the constructions, and it really helps them to sell to their customers and for the customers to have a better understanding of what they are building. So last is the collaboration we did with Volkswagen, where they see an opportunity to utilize the spatial reality display as part of the designing tool to design the new cars. The demonstration that I showed in the previous video, it was actually from the Volkswagen team, and also to utilize the display on the retail to customize the car based on the features that you want the car to be built, and have a better visualization of what you're gonna get. So that's it from my presentation. As I mentioned, feel free to reach out and come to our booth to see the solution in person. Seeing is believing, so here you won't be able to see it in 3D. So yes, I invite you guys to come and see. Thank you.